Hey everybody, happy Saturday, Feliz Sábado y Feliz Sábado. Convenient, saying both languages there, both Espanol y Portuguese. Nonetheless, why I'm here on Saturday making videos in my very cold garage, it's because yesterday's video from the deadlift party, I was noting that I'm starting to feel an accumulation of fatigue, some aches and pains in joints that I don't normally expect. So I woke up this morning and things are still pretty achy. So one of the things that I've done in the past, I've used some what I'll call barbell inspired stretches. And in this case, it's simply goblet squats and using goblet squats to over a longer range of motion or held in a static position to kind of get the joints warmed up, some fluid into those joints, and to get things going. And then I go into the more normal hamstring and quad and IT band stretches that followed on that I don't have in this video because those are boring and no one wants to see them, and there's a million videos out there already with those. So what I will have after this preamble is you'll see me doing some kettlebell box squats, and then these I wouldn't even call it a squat, but I just grab the kettlebell and drop into the bottom of the squat and I hold it. I do these static holds as deep as I can and can get them just to get that extra stretch. And then what I will say is then when I go into the more traditional hamstring, quad, IT band stretches, things actually feel a lot better, markedly better. So I think it's worth noting that sometimes you do have to go into this extra stage of preventative maintenance, kind of like, my car throws errors, right? Or not errors, but it says, oh, maintenance due, and it's got some indicator what's coming, B12 or A126, whatever it may be. It's got this code. And so sometimes it's just, an oil change, sometimes it's an oil change and a filter change, sometimes it's an oil change and a rear differential fluid change, whatever. Sometimes you need more preventative maintenance than other times. And this is one of those times that I need a little bit more preventative maintenance than usual. So I did it, and I feel a lot better. Some Saturdays I normally get up and go walking right away, but even that didn't feel like it was going to jive with, I could have walked. I'm not crippled, but I felt like it would be more effective, a better use of my time to get out into the Flab Lab here, and do some stretching and get things activated and ready to go. And I feel a world better. I'm not just saying this to say it, not just saying because I think what I do is the most effective thing ever. It's something I've found that's been useful. So you'll get to see those videos afterwards. It's not rocket science. It's just executing a box squat a little bit deeper than normally do. And I talk through how I do that. And it's just, holding the bottom of the squat in stasis for a decent period of time. One correction to the videos that you'll see upcoming, I say that I'm doing a 16 kilogram kettlebell, which I stumble on that a couple times trying to say that for whatever reason, 16 kilogram kettlebell. It's not, in fact, it's a 20 kilogram kettlebell that I'm using for the static stretch session, or that portion of the video. So just wanted to note that errata, and hopefully it's useful. Again, all the good YouTube jibber jabber, like, subscribe, share with your friends, tell your families, whatever. Just want to get some information out there that, again, I find useful, you might find useful, especially if we start to accumulate just some general malaise in our joints, and how to kind of combat that using things that mimic the exercises we perform. And just one extra point, the way that I'm doing that is I'm taking those more like what is the exercise I'm executing that's giving me the issues in these joints. So the two main lower body exercises I'm using, right? The safety squat bar, safety squat bar squats to the box, to the 12-inch box, and then deadlifts either with a trap bar or sumo. So how do I combat that directly with these? There's two things, right? So again, I'm using a box that's set even lower, and I go through how I do it. It's just basically throwing it off the platform and standing on the platform. That gives me about this much more extra ROM on the squat motion. And then for the deadlift stuff, that's where the static kettlebell stuff comes in. I'm kind of in where that start position is for the deadlift. I'm just holding it, and I'm way deeper than I would start the deadlift, and it just gets things to stretch out and kind of remember, okay, that's in the range of motion, not where I start this pull. And I think that's useful to do. Okay, enough for me. There's some boring videos following. This is already boring. It's going to be the most boring video I probably ever post, but I think it's useful to put out there. All right, have a great Saturday. Probably won't see me on video tomorrow. Hope you have a great Sunday, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Hi, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about still using box squats, but now just to push a little bit more mobility at the hip. So you can see that, again, I have a box that's got three different dimensions. It's got 12-inch height, 14-inch height, and a 16-inch height. When I do my box squats with the safety squat bar, it's set at the 12-inch height. So that's as low as it can go, unless I do something like I've done here, which is, you can see I'm standing on my deadlift platform, which is 2 3/4-inch layers of plywood, and that's on top of horse stall mats, which are also 3/4-inch. So a little over 2 inches of offset between the platform I'm standing on and the box. So wide in the cushion, it's roughly a 2-inch difference. So now it's a 10-inch box that I'm going to be squatting to. We're going to be using a kettlebell instead of the safety squat bar. Kettlebell offers some advantages, whereas the weight's in front of you. That allows you to stay a little bit more upright and also control where that center of mass is, so that it also helps just perform the motion. So you'll see when I'm at the bottom, my knees are going to be very high compared to my hips, which is what I'm looking to do at this particular point in time. Just trying to work a little bit more ROM at the hips, get a little bit more stretch across the glutes and that kind of stuff. And, this is part of what I would call preventative maintenance. So you can see knees are really high compared to my hips. And one other thing I'll note while I'm here at the bottom is that I have to focus on pushing my heels down as much as possible, because I'm also at the limits of dorsiflexion in my ankles. Okay, so I've done the kettlebell box squats. So it's like a dynamic range of motion kind of activity. I'm going to move into more of a static situation. So with those, I was doing a 12 kilogram kettlebell, nothing heavy. Just moved up a little bit. This is a 16 kilogram kettlebell, and just going to basically get this guy up, get into the bottom of the squat, and hold it. So now my stance is going to be wider. And I'm just going to sit into the bottom of this thing, wedge my elbows in place because it helps support the kettlebell. Just kind of hold this for a while. So this is completely boring. I mean, there's not a lot you can do, but you're just trying to stretch out the inner and outer bits of the hips. Especially now that you've got some blood flow in the joint, it's a good time to do it. Things will relax. You start to feel it already. So just kind of sit into that. Let it kind of melt into place, so to speak. And then when you start to feel a little bit of fatigue set in, drop the kettlebell, stand up, and you're done. And you do that a couple times until you feel it's nice and loose in your hips.